A White Deer family. They returned home yesterday to find the rain while Welcome had done some damage to their property. KAMR Local 4's Kaylee Green shares the Welch's story of how much they got and how they got a little too much rain. She joins us now live in studio. So Kaylee, I understand that when they got home they were a bit surprised by what they found in their backyard.
Well, Jackie, that's exactly right. Cassidy and Chelsea Welch came home to find their steel storm shelter was, well, no longer underground, but completely buoyant. Take a look at this Facebook post. It's been shared more than 350 times so far. Kelsey wrote, "Thank you, Lord, for the rain, but it's not every day that you get to come home and look out your back door and see Noah's Ark floating in your yard." She went on to say their storm shelter had been entirely uprooted and is floating a good 6 feet above the ground. She said, quote, "Happy Thursday, hashtag welcome home." It's certainly something you don't see every day, let alone here on the High Plains. So now I'm going to bring meteorologist Brittany Trumpy back in. I want you to explain, Brittany, a little bit how it's possible to get 5 or 6 inches of rain and something like this causes that kind of damage.
Yeah, so we have a quick little demo set up for you guys, and basically what we have here is we have our makeshift storm shelter buried under a little bit of sand. You can actually see that water table is sitting just below where that can is at, and basically what we have right now is we have saturated soil, which is basically what has happened over the past couple days with this rain falling nonstop. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of extra water into the mix, and that's going to cause that storm shelter, or can in our case, to float up to the surface and actually bust through the soil that we have. And if we give it 1 second, you'll start to see it right there. It starts to float up to the top, and then eventually it'll roll over. And again, you can see kind of the ponding on top of our soil right now, very similar to what they had in those pictures. You could see back behind that storm shelter, it was almost looking like a little lake.
Oh yeah, and you could just see, you know, for several feet around the uprooted storm shelter, it's still just sitting water. Right. So for that to be floating, you're talking about a few inches, but in a column.
Right, and that's the difference. Is it might have only been 6 or 7 inches that fell, but you have to think of that spread over the entire surface area of their yard adds to a couple hundreds of thousands of gallons of water.
Wow, absolutely incredible. Thank you for that live experiment. Certainly something you don't expect to see in your backyard. Jackie, we'll send it back to you at the desk.
Really doesn't. A little lesson in hydrology tonight from meteorologist Brittany Trumpy. Brittany, thanks for that. I asked her earlier, I said, well, how much do you think that storm shelter weighed? And she said, well, it really doesn't matter, you know, because of the distribution of things. Brittany, thanks for the more you know. The Welches say their next steps are getting an insurance quote for the damage and hopefully getting insurance to cover it. Kelsey says the situation has brought a lot to light for them, and they welcome any advice that you might have. The former